In Lin-Manuel Miranda's Broadway hit, In the Heights, the mostly immigrant community that is struggling with gentrification and with poverty and with occasional blackouts in stifling New York City summers repeats the refrain, "We are powerless, we are powerless." And in addition to this line inspiring us to be amazed at Miranda's fantastic puns, it should also inspire us to ask the question, what does it mean to be powerless? And conversely, what does it mean to empower someone? As someone who has taught in New York City public schools since 2007, I've thought a lot about this question and how frequently in public schools, our kids are being taught how to sit down and shut up. And to me, empowering them means teaching them to stand up and speak up. And as the co-founder and executive director of Brooklyn Debate League, a nonprofit organization I founded with a former student to help increase access to speech and debate to public school kids across New York City, that's exactly what we're trying to do. And we're doing it in three main ways. So here's our three strategies. Strategy number one, we are literally building debate teams from scratch. We are going into New York City public schools where there are not teams, and we are building them. That means we are running practices, we are recruiting kids, we are training teachers on the ground and teaching them how to be coaches so that through a gradual release model, eventually our partner schools are able to run programs without our help and on their own. And this is necessary because right now only 2% of New York City public schools have teams that are competitive on the state circuit. We doubled that number from last year, and we plan to keep doubling it year over year. The second strategy is to offer an intensive and inclusive summer camp. So there are lots of debate summer camps around the country, and they tend to cost like $5,000 or $10,000 for kids to go. That's not reasonable for most of the kids in the communities that we serve. And so we have a commitment to meet the financial aid of any camper who wants to come to our camp. What that looked like last year is 99% of our campers came on financial aid. And we're really proud of that fact. The third strategy looks like offering integrated tournaments. And when I say integrated, I mean New York City is one of the most segregated school districts in the entire country. Kids who are poor frequently don't meet kids who are rich. Kids who are Black frequently don't meet kids who are white. Like, we are segregated along racial and socioeconomic class lines. And we know from research in Brown versus Board of Ed in 1954, we know that segregation hurts everybody. So we are trying to build an integrated debate community in Brooklyn Debate League, and we're doing it. This year, we hosted 24 tournaments, and 500 kids from over 40 different schools around New York City and the country came to our tournaments, which were online, so they were accessible to everyone. And those 500 kids from those 40 schools spanned public schools, charter schools, parochial schools, private schools. So we're talking about some of the only opportunity that those kids got to collaborate with and befriend and work together with and debate against kids whose lives don't look like they do. We believe in the power of integration and community, and we believe in the power of building speech and debate programs at schools, and that's why these are our main strategies. And I've seen this happen in real life personally, which is why I believe so firmly in it. One example that comes to mind is a family with 3 girls that I taught, all 3 of them. They were all on my debate team. The first girl was so scared to tell me that their father, who was an undocumented Mexican immigrant, had been deported. The second girl started writing speeches about immigration. The third girl, the youngest, by the time it got to her, was a National Student of the Year from the National Speech and Debate Association and had an entire speech explicitly about our country's broken immigration system and how it affected her family. Those girls ended up at Yale and Wesleyan and Stanford, and they are now a Teach for America Corps member and a paralegal for an immigration law group. And Esme just graduated from Stanford and is hoping to go into academia around issues of immigration policy. I've seen it empower these kids to go from not being able to talk about it with anybody to talking about what was happening in their families on a national stage and doing really well at states and nationals with these speeches. So what is our plan moving forward? We want more stories like this. We want to expand to more schools so that way more than just 2% of New York City public schools have access to this life-changing activity. And with your help, we hope to get there. Thank you.